first minute. Anything can happen. Anybody can be knocked out. Because remember, the chin don't lift weights. That's what I always say.
Heavyweights as the sparring, or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring.
Floyd Mayweather was left stunned after hearing Gervonta Davis knocked out a heavyweight during sparring for the Jake Paul fight. Floyd said, "People still don't get it. Size doesn't win fights. Speed, power, and timing do." He explained that even a smaller fighter can drop a bigger man if everything lands perfectly. And that's exactly what Tank proved once again, sending a much heavier opponent crashing down.
Anybody can be knocked out. So I don't put nothing past nobody. I could be knocked out. Hit me from the blind side. That's most time how fighters get knocked out, with the hook. You can't see a hook coming because it comes from the blind side. But as far as with boxing, I don't really need to beef with. I really don't need to beef with nobody in the sport of boxing. Even though it could be some people I really don't like, I don't need to beef with nobody. They ain't got what I got. They boxers. I'm a businessman. And then on the outside, most time a motherfucker got beef with me because they ain't got what I got.
Tank has been taking on bigger challengers his entire career, long before this showdown with Jake Paul. His coaches say sparring with heavier fighters sharpens his speed, power, and focus under pressure. It forces him to stay light, explosive, and deadly accurate. Meanwhile, Jake is grinding with smaller, quicker opponents to prepare for Tank's movement and timing. Both sides know size alone won't decide this one. It's all about who stays smarter, faster, and calmer when the lights hit.
Or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. He's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavy.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that he hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. You might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Cause I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the level of heavyweight that, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, just kind of letting them know. No, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank.
Inside reports from camp say Tank has been flooring sparring partners much taller and stronger. Witnesses describe huge men struggling to stay up after just one clean shot. It's not just the power, it's the precision. Every punch seems to land right on the button. Fighters who think they can bully him quickly realize they're in danger. His compact build, fast hips, and explosive motion make him one of the most dangerous punchers in boxing, no matter the weight class.
So look at this. Gervonta Davis knocked out heavyweight in brutal sparring session. And it just makes me think, you're willing to go spar with heavyweights, but you're not willing to go fight people that you should be fighting. You know what I mean? You're fighting Lamont Roach. His sparring partners was like, man, I was about to spar Tank. He was sparring this big boy, a heavyweight boy. And Tank hit him so hard, he was on the ropes like this, hanging. I thought he died. I was like, man, I hope you don't do this stuff to me. When Davis asked to confirm whether it was true, the WBA lightweight champion said, stuff be happening. Best not to get in there with me. That's it. This guy has all the skills in the world to knock out even heavyweights in sparring, and yet he won't fight Shakur Stevenson. He won't fight Teofimo Lopez. He won't fight anyone that he needs to fight to become great. He's fighting Frank Martin and Lamont Roach. You know what I mean? It's just truly crazy. But hey, it's his career. If he wants to just make money, the easiest money that he can without fighting the hardest competition.
One boxing analyst reminded fans that judging Tank by one quiet fight ignores his long list of devastating wins. Even on tough nights, he stays composed and finds answers. That's what elite fighters do. Jake Paul has shown heart, but he's never faced the kind of danger Tank brings. When things get chaotic in the ring, experience matters more than confidence. And right now, Tank owns that advantage in every way that counts.
Jake Paul is not beating Tank Davis. Can't believe I actually have to make this video, but let's break this down. The fact that there's actually credible names in the boxing industry saying that Jake Paul's gonna KO Tank Davis is wild. Look, I know Tank Davis's last performance against Lamont Roach was not that good. And in recent years, he's devalued his stock as a fighter by cherry picking, being extremely inactive, and just straight up fighting lazy sometimes. But let's not forget the offensive powerhouse that Tank Davis is. When he's on, he's one of the best knockout punchers in the sport today. He usually fights very economical the first few rounds, whether that's by strategy or that's just a habit he's had ever since he started boxing. But he starts out very slow in the first few rounds. But once he starts to let his hands go and that snowball starts running downhill, there's almost nothing in the sport of boxing that can stop that. You need a guy who has elite defense to be able to stop an offensive assault like that. Only guys like Shakur Stevenson, Jaron Ennis, and maybe Devin Haney have the ability to stop that. And then we have Jake Paul. Yes, he's 6'2". Yes, he's going to be 200 pounds in the ring. But as you can see with his fight with Tommy Fury, he has poor defense. Whenever he faces another boxer who actually knows what they're doing, once they let their hands go, Jake doesn't know what to do. He's not comfortable defending, whether that's moving his feet or moving his head or just having a tight high guard. He doesn't do it. He gets fatigued and starts dropping his hands, and that would be fine if he had good movement to make up for it, but he doesn't. He has some pretty decent offense, but he mainly throws punches and combinations for the first 4 or 5 rounds and then gets fatigued. He's not a true one-punch knockout artist, and he's not a very good strategic fighter either when it comes to winning decisions. So what's gonna happen is Jake Paul's gonna throw combinations for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then right when he gets tired, Tank's gonna come on strong and start unloading with the hardest punches that Jake Paul has ever been hit with. And he'll get stopped. It might not be a one-punch knockout, but Jake Paul will get.
Boxing legend Carl Froch recently voiced concern about safety in this unusual matchup. He warned that such a big size gap could be risky if things get out of hand. Froch reminded fans that boxing usually keeps weight classes close for a reason, to protect both fighters. He's not trying to criticize, but to make sure no one gets seriously hurt. Coming from a warrior who's been through brutal wars himself, that warning carries real weight.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. Swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he does so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defense. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different...
Observers say Tank's focus in this camp is unreal. No distractions, no jokes, just pure discipline. This fight means more than just money. Beating Jake Paul puts him in front of one of the biggest audiences in the world and could skyrocket his global fame. His team says every punch, every drill, every moment in the gym has purpose. Tank isn't coming to participate. He's coming to make a statement the whole world will remember.
Press conference, and you can tell, you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's gonna get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games, don't hit him in the back of the head, don't rabbit punch him, don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not gonna have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody's just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I gotta say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn. This turn of these exhibition fights and people not
happy for Gervonta and Jake. I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way,
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this gonna work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, they know what they're doing. And, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction? A show. A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah. And will that end the same way?
Possibly. Maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man. And if it's a show like this, anything goes.